There's a moment just before words leave your mouth when you can feel their energy. You can sense whether they're born from fear or from love, from the need to defend or from the desire to connect. That tiny pause is sacred. It's where beautiful communication begins. We've all been in conversations where we felt misunderstood, unseen, or shut down. Maybe you tried to express something tender and it came out sharper than you meant. Maybe someone's tone cut deeper than their words ever could. Communication is one of the most beautiful and complicated dances of being human, and yet, most of us were never taught how to speak from the heart. When you communicate from the mind alone, you aim to be right. When you communicate from the heart, you aim to be real. Heartful communication is the art of bridging truth and compassion, of expressing what's true for you while still holding care for another's experience. It's about honesty without harshness, clarity without control, and love without losing boundaries. For most of us, communication was shaped by what we saw growing up. Some learned to stay silent to keep the peace. Others learned to speak loudly to be heard. Some learned that emotions make conversations messy. But the truth is, emotions are the language of the heart. When you deny them, your words lose their warmth. When you embrace them, even simple phrases carry depth and sincerity. There's a difference between saying, I'm fine, and saying, I'm feeling tender right now, but I'm here. One hides your truth, the other invites connection. The heart doesn't speak in arguments or ultimatums, it speaks in presence. You can sense it in people who communicate with soul. Their voice softens you, their words feel safe. You trust them because you feel their honesty isn't a weapon, it's an offering. But to speak with truth and compassion, you first have to listen, not just to others, but to yourself. What am I really feeling right now? What truly needs to be expressed? And what needs to be witnessed in silence? Most conflicts arises not because of what we say, but because of what remains unspoken. The fear under the frustration, the longing beneath the anger, the love hidden behind pride. Heartful communication invites those deeper layers to the surface. It says, let's not fight from our wounds. Let's speak from our wholeness. There's a kind of power that comes with being radically honest in a gentle way. It doesn't demand agreement. It simply invites understanding. This is what I feel. This is what I need. This is what's true for me. When you speak from that place, you're not trying to convince anyone. You're sharing from the core of your being. And truth shared from the heart has a resonance that ego made arguments can never match. Heartful communication begins with presence. You cannot speak from the heart if you're not in your heart. Before any important conversation, pause, breathe, place a hand on your chest if it helps. Feel your own heartbeat. Let the rhythm remind you that the person across from you also has one. You're not speaking to an enemy or an obstacle. You're speaking to another soul doing their best to navigate life. When you remember that, compassion naturally arises. There's a beautiful paradox here. The more compassion you hold, the more courage you gain. Because compassion doesn't mean avoiding truth, it means expressing it in a way that honors both yourself and the other person. It means you can say no without anger, set boundaries without guilt, and share your feelings without blame. For example, instead of saying, you never listened to me, which puts someone on the defense, you can say, I feel unheard when that happens, and I really want us to understand each other. The difference may sound subtle, but energetically, it's worlds apart. One builds walls, the other builds bridges. This doesn't mean you have to suppress your emotions. Anger, sadness, hurt, they all have their place. But Heartful communication invites you to express them cleanly. You can say, I'm angry without being cruel. You can say, I'm hurt without punishing. The more awareness you bring to your feelings before you speak, the more your words carry wisdom instead of reaction. In moments of tension, pause before responding. Ask yourself, what is my true intention here? Am I trying to connect or am I trying to be right? That single question can change everything. Heartful communication is also about listening with the same love you wish to be heard with. Most people don't truly listen, they prepare to reply. But when you listen with presence, when you really let someone's words land, you create a field of safety. They begin to unfold, they reveal their truth. Because somewhere deep inside, we all want the same thing: to be seen, heard, and loved. When you listen from your heart, you don't just hear their words, you hear their humanity. You recognize yourself in them. You see that behind every sharp tone or harsh word is usually a hidden pain, a fear, a longing to be understood. That realization alone can dissolve anger into compassion. Heartful communication also requires trust, not only in others, but in yourself. To speak your truth, you must believe your voice matters. Many of us learn to silence ourselves to keep love, to avoid conflict, to fit in. But every time you suppress your truth, you create distance from others and from yourself. There's something deeply healing about speaking your truth out loud, especially when it's hard. The trembling, the vulnerability, that's your soul coming into alignment. The first time you speak from your heart after years of silence, it may feel terrifying. But soon you realize the world doesn't fall apart when you're honest. In fact, it begins to reorganize around your authenticity. And when you combine truth with compassion, your words don't just communicate, they heal. You become a vessel for clarity and love to move through. Sometimes heartful communication means saying less. Silence, too, can speak volumes when it's filled with presence. Not every misunderstanding needs 1,000 explanations. Sometimes all it needs is eye contact, a deep breath, or a gentle touch that says, I'm here, I still care. But other times, heartful communication means saying the hard thing, the boundary, the truth, the goodbye. It means loving enough to be real, even when it's uncomfortable. Compassion without honesty becomes enabling. Honesty without compassion becomes cruelty. It's the balance between the two that creates real connection. Heartful communication also means speaking to someone, not about them. The heart doesn't gossip, judge, or label. It seeks understanding. When you talk about someone behind their back, you leak your energy. When you speak directly and kindly, you strengthen your integrity. Every time you choose heartful honesty over avoidance, you align more deeply with your higher self. And here's something profound: the way you speak to others mirrors how you speak to yourself. If your inner voice is harsh, impatient, or dismissive, it's hard to extend gentleness outward. But when you cultivate loving inner dialogue, when you learn to say, it's okay, I'm doing my best, your external communication transforms too. Heartful communication then begins inside. It's an inner practice before it becomes an outer expression. The more compassion you bring to your own inner world, the more naturally it overflows into your relationships. When you speak from the heart, even disagreement can be sacred because it's not about who's right. It's about two souls exploring truth together. You realize that you can hold different perspectives without losing connection. That's the beauty of mature love. It makes space for multiplicity, for nuance, for the infinite ways truth can be expressed. In spiritual growth, we often talk about love as energy, but communication is how that energy takes form. Every conversation is an opportunity to channel light through words. You can heal or hurt, build or break, awaken or numb, all with how you speak. The difference lies in whether your heart is open when you do it. Heartful communication is not a skill to master, it's a practice of remembering. Remembering that every word carries vibration. Remembering that your voice is sacred. Remembering that every interaction, no matter how small, is a chance to bring more love into the world. So before your next conversation, pause, breathe, feel your heart, ask, what would love say right now? And then trust the answer. It might sound like honesty. It might sound like silence. It might sound like forgiveness. Whatever it is, it will be true. Because when your words flow from the heart, they don't need to be perfect. They just need to be real. And that's the kind of communication that changes lives. If you feel that pull to finally unlock your heart, I'd love to walk that journey with you. Through my 3 month transformational coaching experience, guided by my signature heart framework, we'll go beyond quick fixes and surface advice. Together, we'll gently unravel what's been holding you back so you can heal, embody your truth, and create a life that feels real, aligned, and truly yours. If this speaks to you, book your free consultation call today and let's explore what's possible for your heart, your life, and your next chapter.